everyone, and thank you for joining me on a special edition of theNSider. The month of October raises awareness on a lot of topics that can have a life-altering effect on people's lives. One of those topics being SIDS, better known as Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. Today I'll be talking to a courageous young lady named Gonzalez, who experienced a heartbreaking tragedy losing her son at only 5 months due to SIDS. We'll learn more about SIDS and how Destiny turned her tragedy into triumph, coming up next on theNSider. So Destiny, how did it feel when you got the news that you were going to be a mommy?
I'll be honest, it wasn't like, oh my god, like it wasn't exciting. It was more shocking. I was shocked. I was a little nervous. I was young, so I was nervous. All the normal thoughts like a young mother would be having, and I didn't expect it. It wasn't expected.
Wow.
So
how did your family feel about it?
I was so scared to tell my family. Like, I was so scared, but funny enough, like, my mother was the first person I told. And then I talked to her every day about it. Like, I was just nervous, scared. I didn't tell my dad for a long time. Like, my mom had told him, but I didn't. So I thought he didn't know. Yeah. So when I told him, he cried with me. He's like, why wouldn't you tell me? Like, I'm happy for you. Like, they took it really well. Everybody was really, really excited.
Good.
Yeah.
That's similar to my story. But like, I was so scared to tell my
yes, I was terrified. Like, I'm literally daddy's little girl, so I was so nervous. I was nervous. But when I told him, he was just like, I know already. Your mom told me.
That's how mine was.
Yeah. He took it really, really
but your mom told him.
My mom told him. So yeah.
My dad didn't, but he do. I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this, but okay. So can you describe the day that Kaiden was born?
Yeah, okay, so he was supposed to be due on the 9th. My birthday is the 10th, so he was born 2 days after my birthday. So our birthdays are really, really close. So I remember, like, when is he coming? I kept thinking he was going to come early, but he didn't, so he came late. So I was getting up to go to the doctor to be induced anyway. So the morning I woke up, my mom stayed the night, and we were all gonna go to the hospital, but my water ended up breaking that morning. So I was like, let me shave my legs real quick. And I like shaved my legs really quick. And I just remember being like super excited though. Like at that point you wanna meet the child that's inside of you. It's just like that type of excitement. So it was a long labor though. Really? It was like 22 hours. It was long. It was long. My water broke the 11th. He didn't come till the 12th. So it was long.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was.
But so how, like, after when he was born, what were those emotions?
I could say like I was just super immediately attached. Like he was definitely a mother's boy. Like there was no putting him down. You know how parents say, like, put the child down, you'll be spoiled. I did not care. Like, we were attached. I didn't want anybody watching him. Like it was a really deep bond, like immediately.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh great. So how was he, like, personality wise as a baby?
I really feel like he had a lot of personality to be a baby. Like, even if you look at some of the pictures, like I post, or some of the pictures, he's like holding up a book at, he's a couple months. He's smiling at pictures super fast. It's like, of course everybody thinks their kid is super smart or a baby genius, but I really feel like he was. And he was moody like me. Like he had like a little attitude, I guess, but he was super lovable.
Oh great. Yeah. And I bet your family just loved, like,
oh my gosh, yes. It makes no sense.
Oh my god, I love it. So going into this, Kaiden was only here with us for 5 months.
Yeah, he was 2 days away from making 6 months.
Right. Can you describe just what happened?
So me and his father, we were doing the co-parenting thing. So he was with his dad for the weekend, and he was asleep, and he wasn't breathing, wasn't responding. So, obviously he called the hospital. I didn't know of this though. Like, I was literally at the nail shop getting my nails, and he called me. I could hear like an ambulance in the background, but I couldn't hear. Like, I was like, huh? So I remember just walking out the nail salon, him telling me like Kaiden wasn't breathing, and he was in the ambulance, and to hurry to get out there. But it was all the way in the city. So by the time I got there, I had like a feeling, and then me pulling up and his dad being on the floor, I knew.
Right. Oh my gosh. So how is that how did you, when you got to the hospital?
It was a really, really awkward car ride to get there. I remember my parents drove me because they didn't want me driving. I was already like panicking, freaking out. That's like your, a parent's worst nightmare is to hear that their child's not breathing or anything. Anything. So on the car ride there, it was really awkward. I was quiet. I was nervous. I was, antsy. So when I pulled up and I saw like everybody consoling him and him being on the ground, I knew. Right. So once he confirmed the words, I just kind of fell out. Everything kind of was a blur from there. I do remember like touching him, like seeing his body, and I remember like he looked like he was sleeping, you know, and then like there was fluid like on his nose. I just kept wiping it, and the doctor was like, you know, it's gonna happen, he's not there, you know, like, but it was weird. I remember the doctor kind of telling me he was kind of cold, but I feel like that was his, now that I look back, it's his profession. He probably was used to it. He probably couldn't show emotion.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel real.
Yeah. Were you upset at the dad or?
No, I wasn't. I never, like, that never was a thought to be upset with him at all. Like it never. I was just more so literally confused because no one had answers. The doctors, no one had answers because there was nothing wrong. So I was more so like confused. I was shocked. I was numb.
Right.
You know, yeah.
So when this happened, prior to this happening, did you know anything about sudden infant death syndrome?
I mean, of course, like you learn it in high school, like in child development. They speak on it. At the hospital, they speak on it very briefly. Like they talk about just the positioning of the baby, like the sleep.
Right.
But no, not really. Not. And then of course you don't think it's gonna be you.
Right.
Always. So it wasn't until after I really dug into like research and tried to figure things out.
So what did you learn as far as the syndrome, and did any of the doctors educate you?
No. It was just me like just researching it. Like as soon after the funeral, I think I just would be laying in the bed on Google. I was just researching different things. One of the things that was shocking to me that I definitely didn't know was that it's prone in African American boys and Indian, Native American. So that was mind blowing. Obviously,
right?
He's black, but I was just really shocked that it also is prone in boys. Who knew that? You know, like I never knew that. I know it has a lot to do with his sleeping position, but he slept on his back, so it was like a lot of different things that I was just confused. It wasn't, you know.
And then did the doctors ever tell you like what exactly caused?
They call you after, like right before the funeral. They call you and they do an autopsy. You know, it's a lot of research, and there's literally nothing. There's signs of nothing.
Right.
So that's when they told me like that it's SIDS, because there's nothing. He was completely healthy.
Right.
So
oh my gosh,
yeah, that's the worst part. I think that there's nothing wrong with your child, but they're not there. So yeah.
Is there any ways to prevent this?
Yeah, I mean, they say, okay, like for example, I would say maybe like how me and his father co-parents, when you're switching his sleeping positions of where he's sleeping so much, that has something to do with it. So I maybe, you know, obviously if I would have known that, if he would have known that, we probably wouldn't have did it like that. We would have figured out something else. So they do say that. I mean, other than that, I mean, they say to lay your child on their back. I always tell people with newborn babies to make sure the child's on their back, not their stomach, until they're able to roll over. There's just a lot of different things that I don't think that they inform you enough of before you leave the hospital.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely say that, because you don't think, that's not the first thing you think about. You just think about bonding with your child when you're home, or the happy times. You never think about something like sudden infant death syndrome or anything. Just think about just caring for the child and doing your best. So wow. How long did it take you to accept that Kaiden passed away?
It wasn't immediately. I got back, like I went to work. I remember like getting a new job and all that, but it's still, I was like not living in my reality. Everything was kind of, it was a facade. Everything was like a shell. I was smiling, I was happy, I was working, but it was just, I was dead inside though. Like, so it wasn't until maybe like a year and a half into it, I literally like remember quitting my job. I wasn't sleeping at night. I would be up all day, all night, because I couldn't sleep. It was just too much for me. So it wasn't then until like I literally went to like therapy. It took me like a year and a half though to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a lot of support. Like I will say that, like one of the main things that sticks out to me is his funeral. The whole Chicago was there. I could definitely say that. Like that's the only thing I remember really about his funeral, was like looking back and seeing everybody. It was, I had a lot of support. My family definitely. I've gained amazing friendships through it. Yeah, I had a lot of support. My support system was solid.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And that's always important.
Yeah, they pushed me through. I'll say that.
Good.
Yeah.
So how were you able to, I guess, turn this into something positive and create Mom's Night Out, which we will get to the next question, but how were you just able to just
I think it had to do with my support system. Like I had a lot of people that wanted to do certain things for me, like, hey, you know, we just want to get you out the house. And everybody doesn't have that. You know, I was watching like the news one day and I seen Amari Brown's mom on there, and I remember her like clenching the blanket, because that was me. Like when I came home from the hospital, I remember like clenching his pillows, clenching his blankets. Like that, I seen so much of me in it, not the circumstances, but just the loss. And I remember thinking like, dang, I want to do something for her. Like I remember thinking that, I'm like, I want to do something for a couple people. Like, and then it just kind of came from there. I'm like, well, what woman doesn't want their nails done, their hair done, massages? There's not one.
Right, exactly.
So,
I know.
So that's kind of when it happened. But it honestly was just kind of like an idea. I posted it and it went from there.
Right. Can you speak about that in more detail about how it all got started?
Yeah, absolutely. It was like kind of an idea. I wanted to just kind of pick. I'm like on this woman empowerment kick. Like that's just me. And I wanted to like kind of pick a couple women. Either you lost a child, whether you didn't. I just wanted to do something for women. Right. And then I'm like, wait, you know, I thought about it. I'm like, it could be women that lost kids, because people reach out to me about it. Like, hey, you know, we see what you're doing. We see your posts. Like, we're not there yet, because maybe they just lost their child or whatever. Like they would seek advice from me. And I remember being like, how are y'all seeking advice from me? Because it's really just me posting my feelings. It wasn't, you know, me trying to get likes or attention. It was really just my real emotion. Like that's how I express myself, through writing or whatever the case may be. So I made a video. I remember I was literally sitting right here and I made a video. My dad recorded off my phone. And I was just wanting to pick moms. I didn't know a lot. I wanted to pick moms that have lost a child from any circumstance, and I wanted to go from there. And the video went viral. And I remember having over like 200 submissions. And it just kind of went up from there.
I know that was hard to choose from.
Oh my God, I think that probably was the hardest part. Like there was many nights that I was reading all of them, because I read every single one, but I cried 24/7. Like it was so emotionally draining that I was like, oh my God, because I felt me in every woman. Like I know that loss. I get it. So yeah.
Right. So can you talk about like how the actual night went and the actual event went?
So how it went is like, just from the nails, from the hair to the massages, it was people that just saw my post and they wanted to donate their services. I had intended on like probably having to pay for these people, you know, and honestly everybody was like, no, like, you know, we're gonna donate the service. Salon Lori's owner was amazing. She donated her salon for the day, and I was super shocked about that, because I was intending to pay for that too. And she was like, no, like, you know, don't worry about it. And their salon is amazing. It's amazing. So their staff actually did the hair and everybody was so loving, so nice. Like the vibe that day was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah.
Great. So how, and was it this event that I read that it was Sandra Bland?
That was the one in February. Okay. So yeah, that was the first Kaiden's Day. That was his birthday. So yeah, she was one of the people that came, and that was amazing. She being in her presence changes you. Like that's how strong and positive she is. I mean, I didn't lose my child from how she lost Sandra, obviously, but her presence and like her strength is mind-blowing. Yeah, she has an amazing aura. It's amazing.
I know. I was actually at Sandra Bland's funeral, and just to hear how her mom just talk, you know, it's hard when you lose a child. And just to see her get up there and talk in front of everyone, and just how courageous and everything she was. So,
and she just spoke over me too. I mean, it was crazy. It was an instant connection. Like we have so many pictures, and she hugged me and she told me I had a calling over my life, and that you know this is something I need to keep pursuing. Definitely. And I mean, I took that, because she's having her daughter's legacy live on, and I'm somewhat doing the same thing, but just in a different way. So
exactly. Yeah. How did the other moms react to your event and just everything?
I think there was a lot of different reactions. Some people, you know, they're not as verbal and they're not as open, but I feel like everyone left there super happy. That's how I want them to leave. I wanted them to leave feeling beautiful. I wanted them to, if they had to cry, let's all cry it out. I just wanted, honestly, my whole point of it was to make them feel better than what they came in. And I feel like everyone did. Everybody's reaction, they seemed like they did. Some people cried more than others, but it was amazing.
Now everyone had different stories, like different.
Yes, like everyone had different stories, from murder to maybe they lost their full term, like going to full term, or SIDS. It was all different causes. Cancer. It was different ages. It was
How did you? Because with the 200 people that reached out, how did you narrow it down?
I mean, I couldn't. It wasn't
Yeah.
like I could just be like, okay, your story's better. Like, it was
exactly.
impossible. So I did a lot of any, mini, money, mo's. And I mean, because that's the only way I could. There was no way that I could just say, no, your story is more relevant. It was no way.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So going forward, do you plan on doing more Mom's Night Out?
I do. I definitely do. I just did my second one, so in August, and that one was amazing. So I do. I'm hoping to do it as an annual event.
Great. And it always want to be.
I definitely always like something to do with him, because he's the motive behind it all.
Right.
So either his birthday or when he passed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So in what ways does your son still motivate you today?
I mean, I feel like it's in all the same ways. When you become a parent, you want to be better. You want to do better for them. I still want him proud. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be nothing. I had all these dreams and all these hopes of when he was here, and I want to, be more established, so when I do choose to have more kids, that I'm good, I'm solid, you know? So it's still in all the same ways. I still want to be better than what I was before. That's just all.
Even though he was here for a short time, what would you remember most about him?
I think it's just like him, like just his cuddliness. He was so chunky, and his hands always stand out to me. I think about his hands and like his feet. Like, it's just, I don't know. I think it's just him. Yeah. I don't think there's like one thing I could just pinpoint. I just wish he was still here.
Right.
Yeah.
So with this experience, what has this all taught you?
It's taught me a lot about myself. I've evolved tremendously as a woman, but there's still a lot of steps I need to take. I think that it makes you appreciate your family. I think it makes you appreciate your friends and the people around you. I mean, because you don't think that's going to happen to you. And I mean, my love is deeper for people now. So I feel like it's changed me for the better. Like, I'm not bitter from it. I'm not, quick to cut anybody off from it. It makes me want to love harder.
Right. Now, do you have any advice for someone who might be going through this now, loss of a child?
Yeah, I definitely do. I would definitely say to them, be patient with yourself. It's tough. It's a huge loss. I would say definitely seek advice. I was very torn between the two. I definitely think that God played a big role in everything I had to do. I will say that prayer definitely healed. But I would just say, take your time. Don't be patient with yourself. Be open though. Be open-minded and open-hearted. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Jess.
No, thank you.
This was great, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so
are
much.
so inspiring.
Thank
This
you.
is a very inspiring story, and I love that you're turning this into something positive to help out other moms who love their child. So I think
Thank you so
it's gonna
much.
go far, and
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
no problem.